Good morning everyone, welcome back to a new video. Today we are going to do the service on the Ibiza, but I'm finally doing a service and I'm going to keep doing them at regular intervals, so I don't really care that it's 5W30 oil, so it's the same spec as what needs to go in it, but it's not Castrol or any of that shit, it's Manol, but I don't know, it doesn't really matter because I'm going to be changing it at regular intervals from now on. So the first thing I'm going to do is jack it up, put it on axle stands, and there's like an under tray that might be in the way, so I might have to screw that plastic tray off. Take the oil cap off the top, take out the sump bolt, obviously make sure you've got the pan underneath it, and then we should be good to go. I've got the new oil filter here, before I forget, and I've also got a new washer, whatever you call it, don't know if you can see that there, but the new oil filter and like the crush washer is there. Right, so let's get this car up in the air and we can start on the service. I've just fucking been dripped on. Mint. Right, so the car's in the air. This side's supported by an axle stand and one of those little scissor jack Widowmaker things. This side's supported by an axle stand and a jack. So plenty of room to get underneath the car, and it's safely jacked up without me dying, obviously. Take this under tray off and see if I can find the sump bolt. So I'd literally taken off like 3 bolts when I realised the sump is there, the sump plug's there. So let's see if I can find a socket big enough for that and we'll get it sorted. That's the D-cap that I got done. Well, that's the flexi that got fixed on it, but yeah, D-cap's back there where I just bashed it out. So I've taken off the cap so it don't create like a vacuum when I try and drain it all. I've just managed to crack the sump plug loose. Only with this I didn't have to use a fucking exhaust as a breaker bar this time. So I'm going to get the bucket under there and drain it all out. Here we go. There's all the old oil. Black as shit. Hopefully you can see that. Wait for that to drain. In the meantime, let's try and get the filter off. So it is worth noting, if you want to do your service on your Ibiza, you're probably going to need a 30mm socket. I didn't have one in this socket set, but I walked through my garage and found one somehow. Just came with a breaker bar that I had. Basically the top of this has a 30mm socket, and you could take it off using normal methods, like one of those big ones that cups over the whole thing, because it is ridged like that, or you could just stab a screwdriver through it and do that, but you've not really got much room, which I think is why they have that on it. Anyway, I've managed to crack it loose with this, so let's get it all the way off and basically move the thing underneath it so that the oil pours into that. It's just dripping out of there now, so nearly done, but let's get the old filter off and get the new filter on. Before I carry on, I just thought I'd quickly mention I did have to take the under tray off because this old filter, don't know if you can see it, it's right there and there's no way of physically bringing it up, I don't think, so I'm going to have to pass it back up to myself from the bottom, I reckon. And also, if I didn't take the under tray off, I wouldn't be able to drain the filter into the bucket. I would have to drain the filter onto the floor basically, because it would just hit that. So it's just a few screws to take this off pretty much, but you might as well take this off and then it saves you loads of hassle. Sorry if the camera angle's a bit shit. It's still on my to-do list to buy a tripod. Right, there you go, that's hand loose now. So should be able to, yep, just spin it with my hand. Oh, there we go. Here's the new filter. I'm just going to go get some oil just so that I can wipe it around the ring of it. So, I've said this before, but I'll say it again for the new people on the channel. What you want to do when you get a new filter, dip your finger in your oil, in your new oil obviously, not your old oil, and just lube up this O-ring, basically just so it doesn't go on dry. This is essentially what seals it, so you don't want it to be real dry because it might, I don't know, cause a leak or whatever. Don't forget to change the setting on your thing so you're not loosening it into itself. That might fuck up the threads somehow. If you can't tell, it's a bit of a tight squeeze down here. I would do this hand tight, but my hands are very oily, so my hand tight is not going to be hand tight, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to nip it up with this. Obviously don't fucking torque it down to like 60 foot-pounds of torque or anything, but just nip it up, because I mean you're going to be taking it off with a tool like this anyway, I imagine, so just nip it up until you know it's tight to the engine. It's hard to explain. It's worth mentioning you're also going to want a new crush washer, because these are one-time use. So I've got a brand new one here. I'm going to take this one off. You might need to thread it off, depends how hard it's gone on there pretty much. Some of them might just slide off, but my Corolla one I had to break off, so I'm going to get this in the vise and take this old washer off, put this new washer on, tighten it down, put some oil in, and we'll start her up. Right, so I managed to break the old one off, and this is the new one. Put it on, I'm going to tighten it down, clean up the bottom of the sump, then tighten it down, then put the under tray back on, and we should be good to go to start filling it back up with oil then. So, put this under tray back on, and should be good to fill her up. I don't have any half bottles left to use as a funnel or whatnot, so we're just going to wing it. That bottle was just the last part of what I didn't use on the Corolla, so how do you pour it sideways? It doesn't glug like that. Oh, it's true. Just gonna check the oil level. Right, mate, you're a bit drunk. I've got plenty to go yet. I'll come with you guys after I'll come with you guys, that sounded a bit weird. I'll come back to you guys after I've finished filling this up with oil, and then I'll drop it down and start it up. Yeah. Right, so I've lowered it down to the ground. The oil is bang on the maximum mark. That's on tight. Oil filter's on tight. Sump plug's on tight. Moment of truth. So obviously it's going to have to suck it all through the filters and everything. Please don't blow up. Don't know what that was. It's not blown up yet. And that inspection light is just to say that I need a service, I think. I don't know how you can change that, to be honest. If you're ever shutting your door and you're out on the outside, wind your window down so that if your car does lock itself you can still get in. Quick tip. That's just burning the oil off the exhaust that I've spilt. Just ignore that, that's nothing to worry about. I don't know if you can even see that on the camera. But that's all that is. Can you even see that on the camera? Yeah, that smoke is nothing to worry about. I've spilt some oil on the exhaust on the manifold, so obviously that's going to all burn off. Sounds good. Is it leaking? It's not leaking anywhere. That's always a bonus. So I'm going to leave this idling for a little while. I'm going to pull the Corolla back into the garage. I've not really got anything to work on it today. I think I'm going to go home pretty much after this has got up to temperature. I'm going to start tidying up, obviously. That is how you do a service on a 2007 Ibiza. This is a BXW engine 1.4. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Like, subscribe, comment and share, because I'm very close to 2,000. I think I'm 1,950 something, which is just mad to think. But yeah, if you can consider subscribing, it'll help me out a lot. I really want to hit 2,000 because that's just an insane goal. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.